So hello everybody. Thanks for joining me as always. My nose is not my nose isn't going to fall off. My glasses are going to fall off my nose. So who's making salad? I think I'm going to prep my salad first, just so that it's done and out of the way. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. And also it doesn't, you know, our chopping board, we can use that then for the other bits and pieces. So what I've got, right, when we were kids and we had salad, it was literally a bit of tomato, a bit of cucumber, maybe some iceberg lettuce, some raw onion. Was that the same for you guys? No one's talking to me. Was it the same for you, Doll?
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so I'm trying to be authentic with this, but you know, when I looked in my fridge, I just went, oh, you know what, I'm gonna do a proper salad. So when I say a salad, because we're kind of eating breads and chapatis with our hands, I'm just gonna make a little bit of a chunky one. So I've got some leaves, I've got some peppers, not peppers, I've got radish and cucumber. So I'm just literally just chopping it quite chunkily, and that will give us a peppery flavour in our salad. So kind of 3 ways, and that's it. That's all I'm doing, really keeping this quite simple. And I'm not dressing it, because the idea is that it's doesn't need dressing. There's enough flavour in our curry. You know, it's more a kind of calming and just a little bit of nutrition. That's kind of what we're doing here with it. So I'm just going to wedge the tomatoes. That's how we would have done them, wouldn't we, Dad? Wedged them, yeah. Tomatoes. You wouldn't have had fancy leaves, but yeah. I've rinsed it all, and we would have done the cucumbers whole, wouldn't we, slices, so I'll do that as well. So if you've prepped your salad and you want to just peel your onions, 2 onions, some ginger, garlic, peel that up and get it ready for the food processor. And then I'm just going to get this carrot and stick it, pop some sticks on it. It's literally, what is the purpose of our Indian salads that we used to have? Is it to make us all feel a bit better from all the buttery curries we were raised on?
It's, you know, because it's spicy, it has a cooling effect.
Ah, cooling. And
digestion's better with the salads.
That's it. So that will just sit in my sit on the side until we're ready to eat. I could do with a bit of cling or a bit of foil on that, thanks. So let me know when you've moved on, and we'll start our next job. So this isn't really something I should be encouraging, using a curry sauce, using a food processor to make a curry sauce. But I thought this week, do you know what? You guys have been cooking curry with me for a little while. Let's do a cheats curry. Let's see if it works. I did it with cauliflower and potato, and I did it with a different dish. Did it with the soya chunks that I talked about in today's cook along, and it was really lovely. And I thought I'm going to share it. So that's why I'm doing that. And I've not done it before because it is a proper cheat. So I've got my 2 onions. So what I'd like you to do, if you haven't done that, is grab two onions. I've just rinsed them, and I've got 4 garlic cloves, and I've got a chunk of fresh ginger. The reason I've kept it in water is just so that it keeps fresh, and that's all. So I'm going. So let me know when you're at that point, and there's only 2 of you cooking with me today, isn't there? So just let me know when you're at that point, and then I'll
I've chopped mine up already.
Oh, brilliant. All right. So I'm just going to pop mine into the processor. So I'm slicing my onion. Into the processor. Now, because I'm one of those awkward people that doesn't like ginger and garlic in chunks, I would usually peel it, but I'm not going to do that today. I would peel it and grate it into my processor, but I'm just going to slither it out, chuck it into there, and hope that I don't get any chunky bits. So garlic and ginger straight into my food processor, and I'm actually going to put my tomato in as well, because this is like a proper cheat curry. Okay, so I'm going to put, I think I've said about 1/4 of a tin of I can't remember what I've said, but I think it's about 1/4, yeah, 1/4 a tin of tomatoes. Sounds like I'm being awkward. Any more tomato and we're getting a stew. So for a curry, we are literally looking for for less tomato. It's there. A lot of Asians don't even use tomato, but I like it. I think it gives a curry a really good depth of flavour. So about 1/4 straight into your food processor, and then I'm going to mince that up. And then I'm going to give it a nice little wipe down, and then do that again. It smells really lovely, actually, really nice and fresh. So the problem with purifying your onions all the time is now your onions don't have they don't have an edge to caramelize. So we have to work doubly hard to get that caramelization, get a really nice sauce going. Okay, so Dad, you can take these. A lot of the Indian restaurants, when they're making a saag dish, we are kind of making a saag dish, but not a proper saag dish. Because it's too much of an acquired taste. So this is, this is a little bit different, but good different. I mean, it's something I would make this. So the first thing to do is get your heat on, and then I'm going to make that oil that I want to just give it some flavour. So you can start with just popping your we're not making a lot of all we're doing is infusing the oil at this stage. Okay, so I've said 1/2 teaspoon of chef crush into your pan, and then switch your heat off. Switch it off and pop a little bit of oil in there, and now we're just infusing that oil in a little bit of heat, and just let that do its thing for just a nanosecond, okay? And then stir that around. Let that oil get nice and seasoned, and then put the heat back on. Okay, so into that heat, pop your onions, scrape your food processor down straight into your onions. Use your spoon like I have. Now then, there's a lot of liquid in here from the onions and the tomato, and what I'm looking for is for there still be enough oil for the caramelisation of the onions, okay, and to get that curry sauce. Otherwise there's no point in if you haven't got a good sauce, then there's just no point in trying to make a good curry. So again, I'm going to put another splash of oil in there, and then just keep it to one side while we make some dough, okay? Remember, we're making breads up as well. So give that a good stir. Just going to put my just going to put the stove, put this on to one side. So we're going to make dough in a second. And what I'd like you to remember is just keep an eye on your onions. I'm actually going to put the lid on, which could encourage you to let them burn because you forget about them. But I'm going to put the lid on just because I want that heat in there. So I've put another drizzle of oil. So I've actually used 3 drizzles of oil in there. That's it, nicely. You can just see the oil bubbles heat coming through, okay? And then I'm just going to leave that and come back. I'm going to wash my hands. So give your hands a rinse. Keep an eye on your onions.
Luciana, are the onions on a low or medium heat?
A low heat, just on a medium heat so they don't burn. But if there's enough liquid in there, they'll be okay. So just making sure there's enough liquid, yeah. Okay, so is your spinach prepped?
Yeah, I think it's washed.
Great, okay. Well, just I'll come back to that in a second when we've got our onions. We've got our dough made. So do our dough and then we'll do our leaves and everything. All right. So I'm going with. Oh, I need the door open, please. Sorry. I'm having a cup each of wholemeal flour. Now I use these cups. It doesn't matter which cup you're using, whether you use a mug or a cup. The key to this, to making my kind of style, when you're making rice or breads, is to, whichever cup you use, is to use the same one to measure your water. That's all. So I love these little IKEA cups. I've got loads of them and I just use them. So one of each of those. And remember, you're going to need some dusty flour. So pop that out now if you haven't done so. And then if you need some extra flour to knead or anything, then you've got it. So yeah, make sure you stir your onions again, don't let them burn. If they are sticking too much, add a bit of water. Just do it low. For now. You need the same kind of cup of water for 2 cups of flour, but you might not use all of this, so don't tip it all in one go. Tip in about 3/4 of this water. If you tip it all in one go, it gets really soggy, a soggy dough, but usually you do actually use all this water. I have no idea why, but we have way too many bread failings, sorry, because of this. So you have to go 3/4 of your water and then mix it through. I've got 1/4 left there. Good mix, squeeze, clearing all that flour from your bowl. Yeah, thanks, doll. You know that tomato, if you can leave it out for me, please. Don't put it in the fridge because I'll forget about it. I'm going to freeze the rest of that tomato. There we go. I've got a nice dough forming already. Just going to give my hands a little bit of splash of water and then knead that back in. I'm looking for a soft dough, not too soft. Don't forget your onions, give them a stir, add a splash of water if need be. I'm gonna, in the next cook along, I'm gonna do an even speedier curry sauce in that one. We're going to put the chicken in at the same time, do it all. Okay, so I'm going to leave that to rest. Leave my dough to rest. Let me know when you're ready to move on and we'll go back to our curry. Just put a bowl on it and give it a little bit of a splash, actually, before I do. And then let that rest. Okay, are we all in at the same point?
Dough's a bit soft. I'm just having a bit more flour, I think.
Pardon?
I think we're at the same point. I think my onions and garlic are a little bit behind you.
Oh, okay. I'm just going to add a little bit of water into my onions and garlic just to give some, give it an extra special, an extra fry. Make sure nothing's burning. Thanks, Dar.
It's up in here. Sorry.
Just let the onions and fry off. Okay, so while I'm doing that, I'm just going to prepare my leaves. Okay, so got some, what are they, this is called calvos, no, isn't it? Is your chicken prepped? Do you need to chop your chicken up? I've cubed mine, just because it's a little bit easier to,
My chicken's ready. Well, it's currently being chopped by Richard.
great, okay. So I'm just rinsing this, I've just rinsed the leaves and left them in water. I do this because if the water is now clear, which it is, I know that I'm okay to use these. Sometimes they can be really gritty. It's very much an Indian mum thing to be having clean leaves. It really is, isn't it, Darl?
Yeah.
They all go, and it's instilled in us. So I'm just going to give this a chop, a shred. If you want it really fine, you can boil them and stick them in your food processor to make a puree along with your spinach, but I'm not doing, I don't think it benefits from boiling them and spilling that water away, so I'm not doing that. I'm not going to chop the spinach because it's such fine baby leaves. I'm only chopping these because these are a bit thicker, that's all. At times I would take the stalks out, put them in the curry earlier, and then cook the stalks in first, but I'm going to put these all in one go, and then the spinach at the end. Pop these leaves in. Are you all both using just spinach then? Okay, back to once you've chopped your leaves, I'm just going to add to this a tablespoon of tomato puree with some extra chili, salt and my curry masala. So chili, curry masala and salt. You know, I've just made myself an egg curry, which is a bit of a weird thing, scrambled egg curry. It was so good, and I put in there bhaji blend and curry masala. It was so good. So good tablespoon of tomato puree. That gives it another richness. It gives it another richness is all I'm going to add. So a splash of water into there. A quarter teaspoon, half a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of or two of curry masala. It depends on your level of spice that you want it. I'm going to go with 1 and 2. And a little bit of chili flakes just to add that extra spice. With a splash of water. And if you're going to add some butter, you can add it now as well, if you want that richness. Sadly, we can't eat butter, so I'm just going to add some of my dairy-free spread. I've been really busy, too busy to go shopping, otherwise Otherwise I'd have bought a Pacific dairy free butter, but I haven't. I'm just using what we've got. So just pop that in and let that all go. I'm going to go on a high heat now. And then pop the chicken in. So I've got chicken thigh, which I've cut into fours. Let that go, fall in. So can I just give you these bits, please? You're not going to leave this in the side of the kitchen, that'd be fun. Thanks. So I'm going to just leave the chicken to seal. Really gently, kind of let it go in that sauce. Not really move it around too much, because that's when it starts breaking, gets soggy. Really gently start moving it around. And then I'm just going to start flipping the chicken in that sauce. Start giving that a move around. So my leaves, not my salad leaves, the frozen ones that I've got, and the calvaneros or whatever they're called, they're going to go in with the chicken. I'm not going to put the spinach in because that doesn't need a lot of time and it will wilt down to nothing. So I'm going to leave that for now and just pop these leaves in. Into the thing. So when I buy leaves, I like if I've got any spare, any green leaves, I just freeze them, rinse them, chop them, chuck them in my freezer. So I'm just popping these in. If I bought them ready frozen, I would rinse them. I would soak them in boiling water and rinse them through. But in this instance, I know they've been rinsed because of me. They can be popped in and just let them all start mixing through. My curry. Oh, my clean tea towel. I've just shoved it in the curry. Can you see? Nice, bright and green. Just going to give that another stir around. So the difference between a saag and a palak dish, the saag is any greens really, and palak is spinach, okay? So it's just going to give that a and move around in my pan. And then let that simmer away. So a low heat and just let it do its thing. This kind of dish is a really dry dish. So don't be expecting a lot of sauce. But it's ideal with the chapatis that are, you know, want a dry sauce with it, okay? So I'm just going to make myself some space. I'm going to make these chapatis. I'm just going to put my flat pan on to heat. I'll keep an eye on the curry. Hopefully we'll get these timed to cook all perfectly at the same time. So you'll need your dough. Flour, rolling pin. I like to use a board. It keeps your chapatis in place. So I'm just going to pop. My dough is going to make about 8 chapatis, okay? So there's 3 of us, 8 chapatis, which is good. Now then, my dough is ever so slightly soft, okay? So what I'm going to do is just add a tiny bit of flour and give it a knead. Just over my hands. It's not only to take away some of the sticky bits. That extra bit of flour will take away, will just absorb. It's not, that's all I'm going to do. And then I'm going to split this, not use too much flour at this point, and kind of split this 8 ways. Okay, so it's quite handy to have a bit of kitchen roll on the side, just to pop your, if you've got any sticky fingers, and just like clean them down. Dal, can I have a flat plate with a bit of kitchen roll on it, please? So kitchen roll or greaseproof paper to just keep between your bread, your chapatis that we're about to make, is a good thing, all right? 8 breads. So what I've done, taken a ball of dough, pressed it into the flour. That's going to sit in my palm. Thank you. And keep tucking, rolling, tucking until we've got a nice roll and the folds are at the bottom, okay? Just do a couple at a time. Don't work on too many in one go because they will dry out. So just want to make a couple, one ball, just work on one ball at a time. And then press your ball, your first one, into the flour, press it down into the flour, that's fine for now, and then pinwheel. press it down again and roll. So we're letting that bread move under your rolling pin to about the size of your hand, okay? Then give it a patty slap and straight onto the hot pan. And don't forget to give your curry a stir. Loads of liquid has come out now. I've got a nice sauce going on in here. Right, as soon as your bread has taken its shape, you need to flip it. I've left that too long. And then while that's doing, I'm going to roll my bread and it's like a conveyor belt. Okay, so chapati slap. Have you guys, I can't remember if you've got a gas or your just make sure it's evenly cooked, and then I'm going to flip this one again and then start that all over again with my into the flour and don't forget to keep an eye on your curry. So when you're cooking your breads, are you cooking on flames like I am, onto the flame?
No,
You are?
no, I've got induction.
Ah, okay, I'll show you in the next one. Dar, could you get me a pat, you know the fish slice, the spatula thing, the one.
Oh,
Alright, I'll show you what to do with that, the next one, okay Maria?
Yeah.
So let that, let the shape form and then just flip it, okay? And while that's happening, so that's my second side cooking on that bread, I'm just going to roll the next one. So flat into a pinwheel. And no, I haven't. The one you'd use to turn the eggs with. So pop the flour, at this point, before you start rolling, you can put some more dusty flour on your disc, your dough disc, but you don't want to use, once you start rolling, you don't want to use extra, okay? So just really gently roll it. It's the black one I'm looking for, Dal. Or you're looking, he's looking for.
yeah, I'm not sure where the other one's gone. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so Maria, once it's once that happens, just pop it back onto the can you go straight onto my roti with this camera, please? The thing. So Maria, what I'm doing is just really gently pressing that to make a full fluffed up ball of.
Yeah.
Can you see? It's just gentle, but that 3 flips is what you need. Once you've got that ball, you can turn it round, that's fine. but I can just tell that these bits are still a bit raw. So I'm going to turn it round and put the pressure on those bits just to get it all evenly cooked through. Takes practice.
I never puff up that much.
Do you use gas flame or are you induction as well?
No, we're electric.
Okay. 3 flips is what you need, and then you've got a chance of them happening. Don't forget to stir your curry. And then give it another flip, okay, that first one. So that's my second flip, no, my first flip, second side. And then start making my next ball. We'll make those buttery breads again, because you learn to that they're quite easier to, because you're frying them, they're a little bit easier. So I'll just give that another roll.
I don't think I need mine enough. I need it more.
Oh, okay.
Get some more air in it. It used to work quite well, but I haven't actually made them for ages.
Oh, okay.
I've been making curries, but I've not made any of the breads. No. Out of practice, Regina, sorry.
Oh, that's all right, Kathy. Since I've been on this diet that I'm doing, this like healthy eating plan that I'm following, my PT has taken me off eating gluten. Every time I eat gluten now, I put on easy 11 at 8 pounds, and it takes me 3 or 4 weeks to lose it. So I'm not having gluten at the moment, and I've kind of got used to it, I think, especially knowing that I'm going to put on another 7-8 pounds, and then I'm going to have to so I've not been making them, but I have been practicing gluten-free flours, so we can have a go at those if you wanted to, but they are trickier than wheat.
Yeah. Imogen says to say hi. She's in Nicaragua at the moment.
Oh, how lovely. Does she still keep her...
Central America.
That's amazing. So I say hi back.
I will.
Oh. You've got such great kids. They're all right.
Alex is in Canada.
Is he?
So it's the wrong time of day for him to do any cooking. It's about breakfast time.
Oh. Well, if you want, so that's the first flip. I'm just moving that around. But if you want to do a cook along with me, just give me. We'll just plan it around you when you guys can all get, and we'll do it in Curry Club on a Sunday.
Yeah, that would be good. Thank you. See what they say.
Okay. It's loads of things. Getting the heat right, making sure you're not messing around with the pan, learning to roll properly. It is practice. You know, when you think about it, it's the simplest thing. Flour and water. It's incredible, really. Oh, look at that. Mine are all right. So literally, it's just pressing them, learning to press them gently so they don't split, and then just rise. Do that rise that we're after.
You have to keep on the heat longer to get it rising like that. So,
Just making sure that they're all fully cooked. I'm going to be adding, once I finish the chapatis, I'm going to add the spinach into the curry, okay? Now my spinach leaves I've rinsed and I've done literally, they're so little, I'm even going to leave the stalks on. Normally I'm a little bit taking them off, but that's me being fussy and I'm going to stop doing that. Just because of the waste and things, or I would take them off, take the leaves off, the stalks off and put them in first and then put the leaves in, but today I'm just going to pop them all in because of time. Just been really busy sorting out, I'm doing some corporate leaflets, working on some corporate leaflets for the business, so that's been taking time. Okay. Just going to give that all a bit of another. I'm turning the heat up for these. See, sometimes they just don't rise. This one's not risen for me. I think I might have picked it, got it up a little bit earlier off the pan. I've messed about with it.
Mine are not rising.
As long as they're cooked fully. Maria, are you doing the 3 flips then, and not and like not putting too much flour when you're dusting them? You know, all of those things.
I made some naans and they were nice. They puffed up nicely, but these are not.
Oh.
I think like sometimes mine work better without wholemeal flour in them.
Just plain flour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice and healthy with wholemeal, but
Yeah. Are they? Dare I say it? I kind of feel like without the wholemeal they're a bit stodgy. So I'm just going to give these a little bit of a. What it is, Maria, it is having that like. Just very gently pressing them so that they start rising.
Okay, I'll try, but I haven't done all mine yet. I've only cooked 3 or 4.
Okay.
yeah, my 4th one's just cooking.
Yeah.
Are you making 8 each, or are you just making 4 each?
Making 8.
Okay. So not too much flour at the beginning when you're rolling.
Okay.
Do you think I'd go too fast? Am I going too fast with this?
No, it's all fine.
No, it's fine. I just can't do the chapatis as quick as you.
Sam, what do you think the curry looks like?
Looks great, yeah. Really nice. Is that chicken?
Chicken spinach
Really nice.
and methi and
How much have you got left to do?
not a lot. nearly there. I finished mine. But you see, Maria, this one's ruined because on the first time I've left it too long. It's not ruined, it's just not risen. And it's going to take a little bit teasing to get that right. So, do you know, it's just a bit of just temperamental. Give myself a little wipe down. Tell me when you've finished making your chapatis. If you need advice, let me know. Don't forget to stir your curries. When you finish your chapatis, we are going to put the spinach in the curry, okay? Just covering my chapatis because they're made and they're cooked. I'll just leave them in a tea towel. And when you've told me you've done your chapatis, we're going to pop our spinach. We're going to finish our curries off, okay? Just going to give mine a really good stir. I'm going to turn my curry right down because it's sort of sticking now. Give it a nice stir. As soon as you've finished your chapati, there's no rush. As soon as you've finished, we'll get on and complete our curry.
Mine are all done, Regina.
Oh, brilliant, thank you. So Kathy, you can put your spinach into the curry, pop it in, and then Maria, when you can you pop your spinach into the curry? Because they're washed leaves, aren't they now? So just pop, yeah. So just pop them into your curry, and let them start wilting down. If they're a little bit wet from rinsing them, that's fine. You need that, you know, it will just help it steam them through. What smell? Is there something wrong?
Sorry?
Is anything wrong? Is something wrong? Or everything okay?
I'm okay, just put the last chapati on.
Oh, good. Okay. Maria, my chapatis aren't perfect.
No.
They're just, I don't cook them. If I cooked them twice a day for the last, 30 years, like my mother-in-law did, or my mum does, or has done, then mine would be better. So it is just practice. And, when we go to the temple, the young girls, and, I'm 52, but I'm still considered a young girl. And, our chapati making, curry making, everything's criticised because we're making a multitude of cuisines constantly. I bake. I'm not just focusing. I don't just cook Indian food. So it is just practice. So I'm going to let that spinach. You can put your heat up and let that heat cook the spinach, and that will speed it all up. While that's happening, if you have got some coriander that needs chopping, chop it now. And we're literally going to finish this with, I'm going to add a tiny bit of sugar to this, only because there's a lot of tomato going on, and sometimes just that diddy bit, like a little sprinkle of sugar, will sweeten it up and counteract that tomato. All right, so that's why I'm doing it. I'm just chopping some fresh coriander, which I'll pop in right at the end. Sam, can you do me a little video of this, just me stirring this to put in Instagram stories, please? Just let that go down. Let me know when you've finished and you're happy that your spinach has wilted down enough, and then we'll put a ditty bit of sugar in, a little bit of garam masala to give it an added flavour, fresh coriander. If you want to put some butter in or cream in, you can put it in now. If you are putting it in, it's to enhance it, bring it all together. It's not to make it super fatty, okay? Just a little bit at the end. Just going to get ready to plate up. I'm switching my heat off now because I'm worried that it's all going to just burn. So I'm going to leave it in there for a second until you're all ready to switch your curries off.
We're all ready.
Great. Okay. Into my curry, I'm going to add... Maria, are you okay?
Yeah.
Just the tiniest bit of sugar, okay? So that's
Yeah.
just a little bit of sugar and about half a teaspoon of garam masala. I haven't tasted this. I have no idea if it's spicy enough for them, but the garam masala will give it an extra edge, another extra hit of flavour, okay? I'm going to give that a mix around, and then a little bit, just a titty bit of fresh coriander as well, another hit of freshness. You could put a squeeze of lemon in there. Your cream is, this bit of the curry making is making it yours, okay? So I'm just going to pop that onto a plate. So mine is, you can just see that it is actually really quite, not really saucy, but that's what I'm going for. That's what a proper sarg dish should be. Really kind of fresh and green and healthy. Really good colour from the spices and the tomato. It shouldn't look bland at all. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of an extra bit of flurry of coriander onto this, a tiny bit more of coriander, of garam masala, just to give me some extra flavour onto the plate, and then I'm going to pop my salad in this cup. I'm just giving myself a bit of a chuckle here, because you know when you go to a restaurant and they serve like your chips on a board, and here I am putting it in a cup. And then don't forget your chapatis that you've just lovingly made.
Gonna dish your pies onto the table, Regina.
Ah, okay, great.
All right. Thank you very much. See you again
Thank you.
soon.
Thanks. Bye. Bye. Bye.